Hi everyone, welcome to the Career Cruise podcast. This is where we talk about all things career, your journey, your stories, the funnies, the fumbles, everything. And we also share insights and nuggets on how to navigate your daily life in your career. This could be in your business that you're running or the job that you're employed where you practice a certain skill. All in the name of growth, all in the name of leveling up. We do not purport to be experts here at Career Cruise, but we glean nuggets and experiences from others and even ourselves so that we can share with you and help you so that you can grow and enjoy the journey of your career. And that is why we call it the Career Cruise. My name is Violette Wambua. I'm your host, also the host and founder of Networking in Heels, which is a women empowerment and mentoring platform where a lot of these discussions take place, and we felt the need to bring them out here on the podcast so that those of you who are not able to join us can actually have somewhere to tap into and learn and grow. Thank you for joining us today. We don't take your presence for granted. We feel so honored and excited that this space is growing. Invite more of your friends to join us here by liking, by subscribing, by commenting, and by just showing us your love and support in very many different ways. Now, we've discussed so many topics here on Career Cruise, and one of the things we've not touched on is how to deal with bad bosses. But first, we'll talk about how to deal with bosses in the first place. You are a boss, you have a boss. For those who are self-employed or entrepreneurs, you say that your client is your boss. So when I use the word boss in this case is someone whose word literally is the last word in terms of your career or your job, someone whose opinion determines how, the outcomes for what you're doing, whether it's in the office or in the business or, whether you're dealing with clients, whatever it is you're up to, there's someone whose word sort of like is the final master, like, this is good or this doesn't pass. Many times people have bosses who are wonderful to them. They help them grow, they help them shape their careers and even sponsor them for the next move. Like you'd find the people who tell me, oh yeah, it's my boss who was my referee when I was coming into this role or when I was moving to that role. Some bosses actually even point you to where opportunities are because they've seen the potential in you and they actually want you to grow. I think those are angels and we need more of those. But sometimes you find yourself with others who are not so good and they make your life not a very good experience in terms of that role that you are in. And by the way, remember I said boss could actually be even client. But generally, because you're dealing with a person who's in high authority, there's ways to, navigate your life around them and with them. They're still human, but we need to handle them with the authority in light of the authority that they carry. So yeah, there's different ways that we can, deal effectively with our bosses. So then we also enjoy our work and also make it easy for us to thrive where we are. I'd say the first thing, and I've said it before, communication. So keep clear lines of communication. Say what you want to do, document what needs to be documented. Keep them informed, consult them, but basically just keep those lines of communication open. So there's no room for ambiguity and vagueness in terms of the relationship and in terms of even how the work is being done. You also it would be important at this point to know what is their preferred communication. There are people who prefer calls, others prefer emails, others prefer, WhatsApp. Find out what the preferred line and style of communication is and use that. But I'd also say, as much as you're doing this, even the face-to-face meetings or virtual meetings, I want you to document everything because then sometimes people tend to forget what they said. So, just record or document whatever is being discussed and follow it up with an email like, hey, it was nice to meet you. I'm glad for the meeting we had earlier, Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so, or, however they like to be referred to as, but then follow it up like as per discussion, so always just, do what they communicate with them how they want to be communicated to, but then please always keep a follow-up of emails because then now you're sure everybody's on the same message. I'd also say it's important to understand expectations. So you come into a role or whatever you're doing, maybe it's a project in the company or in the business. So when the expectations are not clear, people just tend to, do whatever they want to do and assume they're making progress. But yeah, so just know your boss's expectations in terms of your role, in terms of your responsibilities, in terms of the scope, and then even performance, what level are you supposed to perform at, and also seek feedback. And yeah, it'll just help you so much when everyone is clear what's expected of them and what they need to do, so make sure that you're meeting those expectations, and exceeding them is nicer, but yeah, make sure you're meeting the expectations. Say also be proactive. I've seen most leaders want proactive people in their teams. Take initiative, be proactive, ask questions, volunteer for things. I'm not saying kill yourself. I'm not saying here work 29 hours a day. But yeah, you can be proactive and take initiative. Sort of like anticipate their needs and, and what the priorities are, and try to stay ahead of the curve. It will make your life so much easier with your boss. Because then it shows that you're owning your role, and you're thinking as even the owner of that whole thing, and trying to see what can be done even in advance. So just don't wait to be pushed around like a wheelbarrow, but show that you have your own internal thermostat and you're able to move, accordingly. What else can I say? Of course, please respect everyone's time, respect your own time, and even respect your boss's time. Yeah, so that then when you're coming for meetings, get to the point. Don't just talking about, okay, fine, it's nice to have a little small talk, but quickly jump into the point. The meetings and the discussions should happen appropriately within the time that has been prescribed, so that then, you come even prepared with relevant information that adds value to that meeting. So that way it's like going on a date. I think I've missed going on dates. That was like less than 2 weeks ago. Anyway, that's not important. When you go on a date, you come ready with relevant conversations, so even when you go for meetings, come ready with relevant conversations, so then everybody feels that there was value for that 30-minute window that was spared for that meeting, and even you feel like you've gotten the right answers that will direct you for your job. So then you're just not wasting time meeting, and then you're like, I should have just sent a text. This meeting should have been an email. This meeting should have been a WhatsApp message, that kind of thing. The other thing, you can also build trust, so when you're reliable, when you're honest, people tend to trust you more. They know this one is dependable. So that's a way of dealing with your boss, okay? And then it even makes the relationship healthy, because they know, this one, I know if I tell them, whatever answer they give me, I can rely on it. And it's so important. It makes the relationship much better between you and your boss, or between you and your clients. Feedback. Seek and give feedback honestly, professionally, objectively. So that's when you engage in that kind of feedback routine, it makes the relationship much better, and even how you're working together much easier. And that's what I want for you. There could be conflict in the office. How you manage it also matters. So look to manage conflict in a healthy way. Conflict doesn't have to be a big fracas, but the fact that we hold different opinions at any one time, we will conflict. You will conflict with your client, who's your boss. You'll conflict with your boss, maybe your supervisor or your manager, head of department. You will conflict with them. So long as it's different opinions and perspectives, there'll always be conflicts. It's natural. It's part of the journey of life. But how you manage it matters. So yeah, seek to manage conflict professionally and objectively, and in a way that everybody feels that they're seen and heard, and in a way that we're all able to just build consensus and move on. Even if your position is the right one, how you exert that rightness matters. Because then you can't spend your life telling people they are wrong and proving to them how wrong they are, and expect healthy relations between the two of you. Again, in this job, in this business, you are also building your own life. So this is not the be all and end all. So you have to be wise about how you manage conflicts. And remember, this is not the last conflict, unless you want it to be the last conflict of the last day of your job at that place. Yeah. So yeah, be diplomatic, and focus on finding solutions. It's very important. What else I can say? Again, be organized and stay organized. Like, it'll help you when you're dealing with your boss, because when they ask you for something, you know where to find it. When they ask you, hey, you know which folder, where, you even know the dates. Just be organized. It'll help you a lot. Oh, I can't even overemphasize on this. Yeah. Being a team player is also a good way to help manage the relationship with your bosses, especially at work. So support their initiatives, and especially if these initiatives are just adding into your career growth and your trajectory. Please support those initiatives. Support other team members' initiatives that also make your boss shine. Again, you guys, your boss is going to shine. When you guys are doing a good job, they'll shine and they'll excel at shining. So yeah, do what you can and show that you can work well within team dynamics, hold hands, collaborate with others, so it makes your boss see, this one is a value, MVP, yeah. That thing, show appreciation, I can acknowledge your boss's hard work. There are times when you see our boss is pulling so much weight, and if you're put in their shoes, we really couldn't do it. So show appreciation for that. When they score a big milestone, show appreciation for that. It makes the relationship a bit better. When I'm appreciated, I think I'm a much better person. So I can imagine that it's the same for everybody. When you're appreciated, you do better, you act better. So do the same, It'll foster a positive working relationship. I'm not saying you're kissing ass, because you're being honest. Hey boss, that was really a great thing, and that's enough. You're not trying to get into overpraising or gold plating you're just appreciating, and that's that. Stay professional, keep the main thing, and this person just needs to know that this team member of mine, when they come in, they're keeping the main thing. And even if I'm asking them a question or two that's not within, that maybe that's out of what we're here for, how it's met, how it's handled, it's still in a professional way, in an objective way. So they feel you're not easily carried away with other things. You're still focusing on the job, your job description, the job that you're paid for, So yeah. I'd say also be flexible and adaptable. Sometimes, and it is what it is, things come up and it just behooves us to stretch ourselves a little bit. So please don't be rigid. Just flex yourself a little bit, be adaptable, accept the changes. They're not permanent. It's maybe the situation that is calling for these things to happen. Yeah, and show that you can pivot when need arises. And once you've confirmed that you can pivot, people know they can rely on you. I'm not saying pivot every day. You're not pivoting every day. It's just this one time, for the length of your career in that place, maybe you'll need to pivot 2-3 times for different incidences or situations, matters arising. It's okay. You've served clients and, you realize, whoa, this client's job is taking longer than you expected, but they're a paying client and we all understand why this is happening. It's not because somebody was being inefficient on one side and now they're inconveniencing the rest of us. No. Maybe just matters that just arise that are beyond you can't help it. So it's okay. Just be flexible, adapt, pivot, all those things. And it'll make, your life easier with your boss as well. I'd say all these things, but I also don't want to act like there are no bad bosses in the world. I not want to act like there are no leaders or managers who take advantage of the juniors or take advantage of people that they are in charge of. So there's also that. So how do you deal with the bad bosses? And yeah, I want to come to that because it's a very important topic. First of all, you've done well to discern that this person is not a good person. Okay, they may be your boss. They have the leader title, they have the manager title, they have the head of department title, they have the project manager title, but they're just terrible. And of course, they're putting you in a very challenging situation because you need the job. One, maybe you're trying to pay off whatever it is you're trying to pay off. Two, you're trying to stay there just a little bit long enough so that then, when you go to the next headhunter, you're not looking like you're jumping too much in terms of your your job changes, everybody has a reason why they're holding on to the job that they're holding on to. And these bad bosses have sniffed that out and they're taking advantage. And it's a terrible place to be in, to work for a bad boss. But there's a few strategies that I discovered that I want to share with you for how to navigate the situation effectively, like so that you can come out a winner. Me, I'm on your side. I am on everybody's side. So long as you're here on Career Cruise, let's just talk about how to navigate this bad boss situations. Stay professional. That's the first thing. Stay professional. Maintain your professionalism at all times. Like, that's such a hard stance. Like, regardless of their behavior, you stay professional. Because again, it's their behavior we're talking about. So stay professional, stay calm, stay respectful, and just focus on your work. Like, this is where I'm going to need you to go to work and go home. Like, it will save you so much. So don't try to be all, you've already noted they're a bad person. Just do what brought you there. Like, just remember what's on your contract, stick to it. I want to say something that sounds bad, but just bear with me. I'm not being the devil's advocate, so bear with me. Try and understand their perspective. Not to agree with their perspective, but to understand. Like, understand what is it that they see. What are they, what is driving them? So just understand their perspective. Understand why they behave. Not to coddle them, not to enable them. Just understand. When you understand, you're better able to navigate situations. But when you don't understand, you keep falling into the same situation and cycle over and over again. Yeah, so just get why, where their actions are stemming from. Is it stress? Is it pressure? Is it lack of communication skills? What is it? So once you know, then it's like the art of war. Just understand what drives your opponent, literally, because in this case, this is your op. Understand what drives them, and then now you're like, okay, so when this person is stressed, this is how they behave. Okay, so now you're better able to duck the missiles when they come. But when you don't know, you'll constantly be on the receiving end of these bad vibes and bad energies. So yeah, this is where I'm going to need you to also, I don't know if you're going to walk around with a recorder, a notebook. Please document everything. And I mean everything, even a handshake. Document everything. So keep records of all important interactions with this boss, in brackets, bad. Any instructions they may have given you, record that. And any issues that arise, just record, and be very vigilant in the recording, because this can be valuable in case you need to assess a situation. You need to address any concerns in a formal way. They'll ask you, so where's the evidence, or have you recorded it anywhere? So if you didn't record it, your word against theirs. So record. I know it sounds like a lot of work, and ideally we should all be able to just go to work, enjoy what you do, go home with little or no conflicts at all. And that's what I pray for each and every one of you. But should you ever find yourself in a situation with a bad boss, this is just what I'm sharing, so that you don't go out into the world, and I'd feel irresponsible letting you operate as if the world is a cute little bubble with pink and purple rainbows. It would be amazing if that would have been the case. Yeah, so that thing, you need to communicate clearly. I know people just say communicate, but make sure it's in a way that this person understands what you're saying, because I could be saying all these things but you don't get it, so I'm literally not communicating. So yeah, address your concerns, share your needs, and of course you have to be assertive, because now remember, this is like you're dealing with a bully. So be assertive but also respectful at the same time, so they don't take the opportunity or take advantage and say, oh, you're even being disrespectful, so why should I listen to you? And a lot of people focus on that. You're addressing a legitimate matter, and then they just say, oh, not in that tone. Yet they're actually the ones who are the aggressors. But aggressors want to be just, addressed nicely. So it's some of the misfortunes that we have to deal with in the world. So yeah, communicate clearly, be assertive, but also be firm and respectful. So let them know that, hey, this is happening and I'm not comfortable with it, so you have to stand up for yourself in a sense. When they're speaking and you feel like they're being vague, seek clarification. So that thing I told you about the other time, for when someone says something to you, please repeat it back to them in email form. That way there's tracking, there's electronic tracking. Hey, thanks for the meeting earlier. This is what you said. Kindly confirm, like that. So before you move on with anything, please beat them at their own game. Seek clarification. Oh gosh, it's important for you to set boundaries, because a lot of these bullies, bad bosses, don't have, many times they might not be having, and number two, they also don't respect boundaries. But set boundaries and be firm about them. Boundaries for your time, not taking calls after such and such an hour, or messages, or responding to work requests after such and such an hour, because whichever the contract is up to this time. Again, many times, and all of us, I think one time or another, we've fallen into a trap of, oh, let me just do this work, because even if it's way past hours, but then you realize that you're just trying to be, be on top of your work, but someone is taking advantage and pushing on you new things even, and literally eating into your sleep time. So you have to set a boundary on how much more work you can accept that's not within your scope, things like that. And it's step by step. You don't set a boundary today, one time means firm, but set a small one, and stand on that, literally stand on business 10 toes, set more boundaries, and then it'll give you space to breathe, okay? Because again, this person might not be getting fired tomorrow, so what do you do in the meantime? And you all have to survive, or rather you have to be in the same environment, and I want you to not just survive, but to thrive regardless of, you have to do your best. I cannot overemphasize on you focusing on your work. Be so good at your work that literally when people are coming to assess, I know many times you find that the bad boss will complain about you, and then people will come to assess what is this the complaint is about. Make sure your work is on point. As far as you can help it, make your work just be smart, sparking. You also want to make friends and build alliances in the office. Obviously, many times you find that you're not the only person who's being bullied. You're not the only victim. So yeah, so cultivate positive relationships with other employees or your colleagues, okay, and even other supervisors. So don't just make friends at your level, but also make friends up here, in a vertical fashion. And they could provide very much needed support in difficult times. They are all aware that this person, something wrong with them, but maybe they don't have the power or the authority to start something that could get them removed from the company at that particular time. But you need support, because now you come here, you're being berated, and everybody just knows that's unfair. So before the process that would have taken place is done to make sure you're settled properly, you realize that the issue is being overtaken by time, and you need support. You need the support of other supervisors and your peers as well. So make friends and build alliances. The other thing you can do is something that's very important, and I've seen it working. Manage up. So this is your boss, their temper tantrums and moods and what have you. So manage them, anticipate them in advance, and do as much as possible to be ahead of the wave, literally before it crashes. I'd say, adapt your communication style to suit theirs, so that way you're minimizing any clashes and potential conflicts ahead of time. So just see what you can do. Just see what you can do in terms of their needs, their preferences, and manage that. I'm not saying get out of your way too much, because again, we're not trying to coddle bad people, but because they exist among us and we need to thrive regardless of their existence, just see what you can do within your purview to manage that, and let other people know that that's what you're doing. Remember, you've built alliances, so they need to know, okay, so this person, this is how they're being managed. So you're the junior, manage the senior. Of course, you can seek support. Please, you must seek support. So your alliances may be good for, it's like a little bit of a band-aid for that moment, but you need more than just band-aid. So yeah, seek support, maybe from HR, or someone who is charged with conflict resolution in the office, the person who you talk to, the people who are in the people and culture department. Seek them out. We once spoke to a people and culture person on this show. Her name was Najda. So seek out people like her in the office. That's where HR comes in. Let them know what's happening. Remember, you've documented, and just keep them updated if more things happen. So then, you're able to manage the negative effects of this situation. You can also talk to a trusted mentor in the organization. Yeah, so if you talk to HR, it's officially recorded and documented. The trusted mentor will hold your hands and give you advice and tips for how to navigate this person. Remember, they know them better. Most probably they've been there long enough to see them in action. Maybe they just don't report to them, so they're not able to tell them off because they're not a direct report. So it's kind of tricky. Yeah. You can also evaluate your options. You don't have to stay there. So see what your options are. See what the opportunities are for you in that situation at that particular time. You might find that, tell yourself, let me just put up for 3 more months and then I'm out. Or you say, no, I'm getting out now. It all depends on what your options are and what you want to do, where you are in terms of your personal achievements curve. So remember, the job is not your final destination. These places you want to go. This client is not your final destination. You might decide, I'm not working for a client who's treating me like trash. So bye. But then again, before you make that buy decision, just see what your options are. Is the situation going to improve? That's an option. Can I explore other opportunities? Can I explore other clients? If you like the organization, do you want to explore other opportunities within the organization and maybe move to a different department? Just see what is possible and do the best for yourself at all times. You have to take care of yourself, so you can't be at the mercy of people's temper tantrums and what have you. But just check what's available for you and act accordingly. I'd say finally, okay, not finally, but because there's many ways we can deal with bad bosses, but what I'd say in conclusion of this episode is, you have to take care of yourself, because dealing with a bad boss can take a toll on you, can hurt your self-esteem, hurt your self-image, and you start thinking that you're a useless person. Yet you would never have gotten this job if you weren't good enough to start with. Dealing with a bad boss even can dent your reputation, because many times when they're doing bad things to hurt you, they also tell others, and they don't talk about you in flowery terms. So they make others also start to see you as if you're a nothing, yet you're actually a qualified professional. Your work is exemplary. You do the most. You're really going out of your way. You're even managing up and even anticipating their situations and needs, but still they'll find a way to just trash your name. They like comfort in numbers. So yeah, it's very stressful. So seek therapy if you can. Practice self-care. Even at home, find ways to decompress all the time, because the pressure can get to you and it can be too much. You can work out, you can pursue your hobbies, you can talk to friends, you can talk to mentors again, or, counselor. If your organization has opportunity for you to seek therapy within the medical cover, please seek therapy. The company is paying for it. Plus, they're putting you through this bad boss, whether they know it or not. So yeah, seek help and take care of yourself. It's so important, because at the end of the day, this is just one of the many stations you're passing through in the journey of life. So it's not the last station. So take care of yourself, so that by the time you go to the next station, which we at Career Cruise always hope it's better, then you're not bringing baggage from this bad boss to your nice place, so you can enjoy the next stage of your life. But now that you're here, take care of yourself. Now that you're here, these are the tips that you can use to navigate this not very positive situation. And finally, of course, we hope that it won't be long. This situation won't stay for long, and that maybe the bad boss will change their ways, hopefully, or they'll change their job so that they don't have to harass you and you can be at peace. Otherwise, yeah, that's all I had to share in terms of how to deal with bad bosses. I'm sure you guys would have an idea or two. Please share. Let me know what I can add to this topic for the benefit of others who are watching, for the benefit of people who are new here, the people who are old here, because we all just need help, at one time or another. We've dealt with bad clients, dealt with bad bosses. Please tell us the experience. Tell us what you did, and how you can encourage another person who's also in that predicament. But then again, for me, my wish is that you don't have to deal with bad people, office bullies, bad bosses. You don't have to deal with them. But should they come your way, I hope you're now at least armed with a few tips on how to navigate the situation. Thank you so much for staying with me till the end of this show. I wish you the best in your career. I wish you the best in your business. I just want to hear all the good things that you've achieved and all the good places you're going. So I'll see you next time. Remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, send email. I'll read your email here the next time we start the show. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.